It's Zuma Dogg live on the news set of KNBC News Raw and Channel 4 News. There's the camera. We're about to go live.
15 seconds.
15 seconds. You're backstage with Zuma Dogg. Actually, you're on set with Zuma Dogg, KNBC News set. In about 10 seconds, we'll be going live on the air. Zuma Dogg from Mayor.com. .com.
I'm Councilman Medina. You're watching us here on Digital 4.2 News Raw. Let's get straight to it. We're talking to the candidates for LA City Mayor. With us is candidate David Salzberg, better known to us as Zuma Dogg. You've seen him on the air here on News Raw. Thanks so much for joining us. We do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start first with why you're running for mayor.
Well, after attending the council meetings, I was a vendor on Venice Beach, and the city put down an illegal, unconstitutional ordinance that affected my income and the income of others. So I went to the city council to protest, to say, hey, this is unconstitutional, and I found out they were well aware of it, and we had a fight. And about 2 weeks ago, there was a $250,000 judgment in a federal court. So once I was at the council speaking on my own issues, I started to hear the other people through the community, a diverse melting pot, LA City Hall, speak about all the ways the city was sticking it to them. And you know, a lot of compassionate stories, and they came to Zuma Dogg. Hey, we see you on TV. What about the elderly getting kicked out of their condos? What about, you know, all the fraud, waste, and abuse? So as somebody who's been an outspoken critic, now that it's time to put the name on the ballot, I decided I want to do as much as I can to represent the voice of the community and put an end to the corruption, the fraud, waste, and abuse, and get leverage on the situation and take back the city.
Let's talk about what you think some of your main issues will be if you're elected as mayor come the March election. What will you be focusing on the most?
Well, first of all, I feel that the city is under attack of corrupt politicians at City Hall, racketeering, fraud, waste, abuse. And under these harsh economic times, we have to make sure all the money earmarked for the community makes it into the community. Because then what they do after it gets pilfered and wasted and given to their cronies, and they're buying BMWs and front-end loaded management contracts with these nonprofits the money's given to, then they come back and say, oh, we got to triple the trash collection fees. We got to quadruple parking meter rates. We have to create new fees and taxes to help fix the problem after they just squandered all the money. So I have a 14-point plan based on Dr. W. Edwards Deming. If you can please do a Google search while you're on the computer. It's a 14-point management philosophy that helps reduce the bureaucracy and increase efficiency, and we need to do more with less, and so that's why I'm asking for your vote. That's what I plan on doing as a top issue, and I'll be glad to continue beyond that, unless you have another question.
No, go ahead.
Okay, regarding the housing. Okay, basically I'm here to say the City Hall is vindictive and retaliatory. They're not representing the spirit of the community. Regarding unsafe housing projects, you know, they'll try to waive the environmental report to try to jam a project through. It doesn't matter if there's 400 people speaking against it. And regarding the housing, okay, the REAP program, big on my radar is the REAP rent escrow program. What's happening is you have low-income renters in these rent-controlled units. So they retaliate against the landlords, the small mom and pop landlords, by saying you have to make this aesthetic improvement, that aesthetic improvement. The landlords can't comply. Then the building gets taken over, given to the developer, you know, turned from a rental into high-end luxury condos to the developer of choice. Then these people get kicked out onto the streets. So, you know, these are federal lawsuits waiting to happen. Also, here's something. The mayor says he added 20,000 units of affordable housing, okay, and they get federal money from Barack Obama for these units. Well, I was contacted by the hotel owners, the small mom and pops with the like 20, 30, 40 units, and they said, hey, Antonio is declaring all of these hotel units without kitchenettes that are like $1,100 to $1,800. That is not affordable. They are now counting those in the affordable housing count. So we don't get real affordable housing, and it's outrageous. So these are some of the things. We have to represent the spirit of the people. Every day there are projects and ordinances coming through, and there's the right side and the wrong side, and it's a vindictive, retaliatory spirit with City Hall again. We cannot be something I spoke about today at City Hall as they're talking about foreclosures and how to bail out the community. I'm here to say the CRA, Community Redevelopment Development Association, they took billions of dollars that's supposed to go throughout the community and roll the dice downtown on this Grand Avenue project that they can't get off the ground, and they subsidized it. So, we need to make sure that the money for the community that's earmarked to redevelop the blighted communities makes it into those blighted communities for redevelopment instead of in the hands of billionaire developers for a project we can't need that they can't get off the ground. And finally, to wrap it up, they say, Zuma Dogg, what about this issue, this issue, that? Where do you stand? Basically, much of the waste, the immeasurable waste, can be fixed by just simply representing the spirit of the community. I don't feel the mayor's doing that. I feel he's got his own special interests. As soon as he gets in office, he will be running for governor. I've been told that if he wins, he'll be running for governor. If he loses, he will not buy insiders. So why are you going to elect a mayor that's only going to immediately run for governor? I say he's already running. And so what else can I say? Thank you very much. And my website is zumatimes.com. And the housing, they've gone all upscale. They've taken affordable housing and turned them into billionaire luxury condos nobody can afford. They're sitting vacant, plummeting in value. And so you can't afford to live in the city you work in. You're pushed to the outskirts. It makes traffic worse. You can't have a city of the rich people living in one area and everybody pushed out. That's not a community. And we have a lot of important issues, and I've gone through all of the agenda. I feel that no other candidate, including the mayor, knows the ins and outs throughout the city, as I've seen all the agenda items come through. If it happens in LA, it happens on that agenda first, and I'm there to catch it. And please, I'm asking for your vote March 3rd to end the corruption, represent the voice of the community, and make sure the money makes it into the community under these harsh economic times.
All right, I have a couple of quick questions. First one, we're going to talk a little bit about traffic because it is a big issue for a lot of folks in this city, and also mass transportation. How would you handle any proposed ideas like the subway to the sea or trains from the valley to the west side? Would you go on with those proposals? Would you look at them carefully? Would you scrap them altogether?
Well, Subway to the Sea, of course, everybody likes the idea, and nobody wants to say don't do Subway to the Sea. For all the people that aren't even born yet that will enjoy it, here's the problem with Subway to the Sea. We don't have the money for it anyway. There is no plan that is in motion yet. It's only talk. And it will take probably the earliest, 25, 30 years, okay? But again, no money, no plan, and a long-term thing. But the people of Los Angeles, I do believe, want it. So if the money is there and it can continue, I wouldn't want to stop that, even though I am against it, because here's the thing, then they don't take other measures. Now, if that money could be used for other projects, then I would say yes, kill the Subway to the Sea and use that money for more practical things that could be accomplished in a much more short-term goal. However, they always say, oh, gee, the money's only for Subway to the Sea. If we don't use it for Subway to the Sea, then we lose it. So yeah, if it's use it or lose it, yeah, go ahead. But as mayor, I will be focusing on the more pragmatic, day-to-day, short-term things. And here's something regarding traffic, because of course everybody's top thing, they say traffic. And I talk about my Dr. Deming 14-point plan to improve efficiency and break down the bureaucracy and have departments work together. The city has installed left-turn auto sensors throughout the city underground to help solve the traffic congestion. However, they only allow for one car to get through on green. Okay, so it's already turning red before the first car gets through, due to problems that they did not foresee, due to not having departments work together. So now, when they're trying to fix the problem, they've now made it worse by having faulty left turn signals that are only allowing one car to get through. That's making the traffic congestion worse. Cars end up going through the red lights, and it just all gets into a snowballing corkscrew effect. And it's all because they have not committed to the 14 points of quality management. They're tripping all over themselves. They have no method in which to achieve the goal of quality and productivity, how to even get the left turn signals working. So regarding traffic, Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa spent time and money on these left-turn auto sensors to make the traffic better, only to make the problem worse, and now they're going to have to spend time and money to fix the problem while it continues to be worse.
I like that you brought up the idea that when it comes to some of these projects, that the money is either use it or lose it. But isn't that also part of the problem when you have projects where you have to use the money for that project when there are other projects that are probably a little more better for the community but don't get the money that they need?
Yeah. There's, But if the voters approve money for a project, it works on both sides. Okay, is that answering your question? Yes. You know, it makes me frustrated when I see money being wasted for projects that are not the right thing, and then they say, "Gee, use it or lose it." I mean, maybe that's a state assembly issue. It's a governor issue. I would address it as mayor, but you try to pull and fight for the money. Every day there's pots of money out there for different projects. So I guess as mayor, council, every elected politician, they're out there trying to grab their share for their projects. So go ahead.
All right, well, let's talk about the measure on the ballot in this election coming up. This deals with the solar energy, expected to cost billions of dollars, and a lot of critics say there is not really a plan there. What are your thoughts about the measure?
Yes, well, I'm here, Zuma Dogg, candidate for mayor, asking for your vote, but something just as important is no on Measure B. Now, here's why. It sounds good. Who would say no to solar? Everybody watching right now probably would support solar energy, as do I. However, this will not produce real solar energy. The mayor needed to, lock up his vote. So he pushed this thing on the ballot real fast to award it to the union that will get the contract. Now, here's the problem. DWP has aging infrastructure all throughout the city. I've been contacted by DWP whistleblowers who say all these transformers, one good heat spell this summer and it's going to look like, Tropic Thunder scene, the explosion scene, and there's going to be brownouts. So now the mayor's pushing for the solar. DWP is not ready for this. It's way too big. They're not ready to accomplish this task. They said in a consultant report that it's risky. They're already saying it's going to cost double what they have told taxpayers, into the $3 billion. And again, it will lock out the solar from being able to be installed by these non-workers, union workers that the mayor's giving the contracts to, and it will take it out of private. So you have to say no. It was rushed on, and again, a risky plan that's costing too much. Oh, it's going to drive up the DWP rate at a time when it's already going up. This boondoggle will drive up your rate, and it won't deliver economically prudent solar. Please, no on B.
All right, let's talk really quickly. Give us your assessment of Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa's job in office. What has he done right? What has he done wrong?
Well, we talk about the mayor. A lot of people talk about what he hasn't done, or he takes pictures. He only works 11% of the time. I'm here to say, as a member of the community who went into City Hall that didn't know anything about anything, and I started to see what was going on. The mayor's very charming, very charismatic, but the things that he is doing in office, it's very, very scary. I wake up every day to try to alert the public. I feel if he's elected, it will be very, very dangerous times. He's not representing the money. He took a record revenue and spent it irresponsibly, like on some MC Hammer shopping spree. He only represented the special interest, billion-dollar developments. He did not represent the community. And I'm here to say, Zuma Dogg is born out of the ashes of scorned Antonio supporters who supported him the first time, don't like what they see. They come to Zuma Dogg, and he is not representing the spirit of the community. It's a vindictive, retaliatory city hall. He uses his commissioner appointments as a political, paybacks. He'll push opposition out of elections and hey, you drop out. Hey, his cousin John Perez was running for assembly, so he went to the guy who was doing well and said, hey, drop out, and I'll give you the commissioner appointment. He did that in District 7 as well. And so if I could just say anything, please do not be fooled by the press release charm and charisma of the guy. What he is doing with his administration is very dangerous, I feel, to public safety, and I feel you better vote for somebody besides Antonio in a crisis. I am not kidding. And as somebody, a citizen of the public, of course I feel that way. That's why I'm running, and hopefully I have the support. And please, what more can I say?
All right, well, this is the point where we give you an opportunity to talk directly to the voters of Los Angeles. Tell them why you would make a good mayor.
Okay, thank you. My name's Zuma Dogg. Over the last 3 years, I've woken up every day as a private citizen and just tried to do as much as I can to get control of the fraud, waste, and abuse that's going on under Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa. I don't like what I see at all, and I think everybody should be very scared. So here's somebody who's trying to do as much as he can. Now, also, by going to all the meetings and looking at all the agenda items. Again, like I said, I know the ins and outs. I've been tutored and mentored by a lot of the insiders. I know where to go after, and we need to, okay, so again, my 14-point plan, there's a lot of politicians. I don't care if you have an Ivy League degree and are an attorney, or, you know, what's your scholastic achievement. They don't teach you how to be mayor in a college textbook. And, you know, I have my 14-point plan, again, based on Dr. W. Edwards Deming management philosophy. We have such great workers in the city. They know what to do. They know how to prevent a left-turn traffic sensor from being misfunctioning. But they're not being allowed to do what they know because of the vindictive, retaliatory spirit. And they're tripping all over themselves, wasting immeasurable amounts of money. And no other candidate has a plan in which to achieve the goal of improving efficiency and fixing the city. And I can do that through my Dr. Deming 14-point plan. Methods for management of quality and productivity will empower workers throughout the city and will take back the city. And so again, please go to my website, ZumaTimes.com. I've woken up every day, done as much as I can. I've blogged, I've gone on TV, radio, and I've been mentored by the people. See, I would not be ready. They don't teach you how to be mayor in textbooks, and it's easy to make these hard things. Oh, we must do this, must do that. But, you know, one thing I've learned by attending the council meetings, I've met thousands of people from all across the community, the most diverse melting pot. You know, you have to know about compassion, and, I've definitely... Thank you to, basically, let me take this moment to thank the thousands of people who I've spoken with on the phone, read the emails, met at City Council, all through the city. They've signed my petition. There's thousands of people out there, hundreds of thousands, and hopefully they'll make it to the polls. People like what Zuma Dogg says on TV, and they feel I represent the people's voice, and it's only because of the feedback of the community. As I walk the streets every day, everybody's tugging on my ear, telling me the issue, and, hey, I'm ready to do it. Put it back into the hands of the people. And thank you so much. Zuma Dogg for mayor, March 3rd, and no on Measure B.
Zuma Dogg, Salzburg. Thanks so much for stopping by with your issue. Great. Thank you so much.
Oh, let's do take two, y'all. Now we got to do take two. I didn't say it good enough, y'all.
That's good.